Bay Simmler, siz inovatif bir şirketin, Mr. Simmler,
Yeah.
you are the second generation of an innovative company. And in your company, the family is in control of management as well. So, what kind of benefits have you observed of this situation in your company, the family being in management hands-on?
Well, the benefits for what we saw. So we have very short communication channels, and this is, I think, something which is unique in the industry, especially for the family businesses. So we grew very fast in the last years in our scale, and so this makes it very easy to take decisions in a very short time, and I think this is a benefit in this case, and this also helps to go forward, for example, with new products or to invest somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe you have a very lean head office, maybe 30, 40 people taking care of many countries. I think this is something which is commendable for you. And I understand maybe you know each person in that office by name, by who he is or who she is. So you are also talking about this, I understand, knowing each person very closely, so that you can have shorter communication channels.
Right.
And maybe the people know you very well, what you are expecting, how you would normally do it. Mm-hmm. The company culture is very well absorbed by the people. Mm-hmm. So sometimes being rather small office helps. Am I right?
Yeah, that's definitely right. Especially, we are a small team, as you mentioned. There is this short communication way between our employees, but also in our management in this case. And we tried to put all the family members to the very important positions. So sometimes we are laughing together because we have, for example, the same idea and coming up with it and talking to each other, and suddenly finding out it was the same idea, and we even did not have to talk about. It was almost some kind of telepathy. And this is sometimes it's really funny, and this helps a lot to act very fast. And one thing also is we want to have a certain standard, and we are very strong in trying to go there. And all our employees know that, and they know how we want to have it and how to go on. Mm-hmm. That helps a lot as well.
Okay. Efendim, şimdi konuşmacılarımıza kendi şirketlerindeki inovasyonu nasıl ateşledikleriyle ilgili deneyimlerini sormak istiyorum. Şelale Hanım, isterseniz sizden başlayalım. Nasıl yaptınız? Bir anlatabilir misiniz?
For the companies, there are some of the things that the speakers in the morning have already talked about. I'm more on the shareholder side, but I'll talk about that a bit more in a second. So for the companies, what we basically use, as I said, like the empowerment of the employees, and then it would be quality assurance and process improvement systems that are focused on continuous improvement, because that forces people to come up with new solutions. We have İnci Incentive Awards, which is İnci is my grandfather and is our founder. We've been handing those out for the last 9 years to successful improvement projects. And it started with 3 projects. Now this year, 16 projects were finalists for those awards. And obviously, I think one of the best methods for like most Turkish companies would be having global partners that are like being partners with the largest global partners, because their R&D budgets are like much larger than ours when you compare them. And to get that know-how as a pill is a good way to innovate. As I said, I'm on the family office side. By the way, I'm a 3rd generation family member. I'm also the head of the family assembly, and I am the director of the family office. Our family office caters to partners of the İnci holding, so we don't have any business. I don't have any business with the holding itself. We do try to leverage things and negotiations with banks and stuff, but I'm actually concerned with the shareholders mostly. And this is to the point about Professor Deniz's in the morning that, and also the speaker before that talked a bit about it, that you have to separate the property and ownership from the company so that in the long run you can protect the company from the shareholders. So you have to like separate their interests, separate their properties for the well-being of both sides is what we believe. So family office was developed because as families we need to always foresee what's going to come next, what could be the problems, because the exit costs are harder. It's not a public company you can sell and exit. It's not a rational financial decision. There are emotions involved, and you have to kind of keep things to, you have to be able to isolate things. So, and over time, as the generations proceed, the visions change, the risk perceptions change, the interests of the parties change, and lifestyle of the parties change. Like my grandfather used to work weekends, nights, and then we as a 3rd generation don't want to work weekends, and we see that as our most natural right. So those things change, and then you have to, have these decisions as to like, should we keep, as you accumulate wealth, should we keep this wealth in the business? Should we keep this to the same sectors? What to do, like what do we do with this accumulating capital? And in the long run, a family's goal should be to preserve the 3 types of capital. And I'm not only talking about financial capital here. There is like an intellectual capital and there is human resource capital that the family needs to manage. And for that purpose, we have established a family office, and it is a very wide practice outside of Turkey. In Turkey, family offices are usually not separate from the holdings. They're like an office within the holding. So that is like one way how we innovate.
So within your companies, İnci Akü seems to be the leading company in terms of innovation, if I'm right. So if you take İnci Akü, for example, which is 100% a family company, where did you start from? I mean, did you first focus on your innovation strategy, or did you first focus on aligning the leadership or training your people? What did you put up front? What was the first?
That would be actually a question for my cousin, who's the CEO. But
Okay.
I will.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, they have their own quality system, which is developed based on Six Sigma and PDI. And I'm an industrial engineer, so I strongly believe in quality systems. That if they work, they actually work. So that brings up bottom-up innovation. And then we've had really good CEOs in the past, like very good leaders, who have motivated the employees to give their best. And the third thing I would say is that they invest in R&D. İnci Akü heavily invests in R&D, especially given that it's in an industry which is almost like perfect competition, that there's the consumers are highly price sensitive, so like the less that you have cost is better, but we do invest heavily in R&D.
Okay.